Okay, so I've had a number of people ask me, what have I gained from this traveling experience, or what are my most memorable moments. Um, and I just thought I've done the video explaining what I've done. I can send a link to that. Um, and I just thought it'd be good to sort of just summarize what I feel I saw, or came to understand, and how the fundraiser money was used in these different locations. So there was a fundraising campaign. In total, about £933 and 48 pence was raised. Um, the first location I went to was in Kenya. I think, um, for me, I think before I went to Kenya, I had a very colourful image of what it would be like. And the time that I spent in Kenya was working with a HIV positive therapy group based in Malongo, which has a high HIV infection rate in that area. And we spent a lot of our time going into the slums. And I think that for me was the first time that I actually experienced a real slum, and actually being in a slum and seeing kids with literally with nothing, pretty much nothing. Like, these kids were malnutritioned, um, without shoes, running around, really happy, playing in like really unsafe stuff, but really content and really happy. And we basically spent a lot of time gathering information about different stories of families, different stories for families that lived in this location, and then turned this into a content for a newsletter, which was basically going to be sent out at the end of December as a means of reminding all the past volunteers and helpers what Bridges HIV positive living had created in that area, um, and the areas that still needed to be filled and the support that they still needed. So in Kenya, a total of 287 and £87 and 50 pence was given to that charity. This money went into building a form for the older kids, because they never had anywhere to put the older kids, and the concern was, what do these kids do once they finish form 3, which is about the age of 9, I think 8 or 9 years old on average. But of course, you have loads of kids who are older, who are there for whatever reason. The money was also used to buy food and supplies and give this out within the slums. So one thing that happened whilst I was there was we had a very heavy rainfall, and it almost pretty much put into perspective for me what I was dealing with. Me and the girl that I was with had a little rested moan about our commute back home, about the fact that we had to get onto a motorbike and then get into, rare wellies and walk the rest of the way home, because the rainfall just pretty much damaged the road and you couldn't drive your car to where we stayed. And then the next morning we wake up and we go to the slum and we find out how the kids have not had any sleep because of the problems. We hear about a family that's been washed away and both mom and two child can't be found. And this is just within the slums. We hear about the grandmother who all of her food supplies that she used to help that area and to feed her grandchildren was completely wiped out. Um, and it sort of makes you realize. And then we walked past buildings where the day before these were half complete buildings, and we've walked past them the following day and they've all been knocked down and everything had to be started from scratch. And you hear rumors that how there may be a dead body or a dead person trapped inside one of the buildings, and it makes you realize just how blessed and how fortunate we were that we didn't have to stay in the slums. We were in a comfortable location where all we had to do was just complain about our commute back home. I will stop the video here just because I don't want it to turn into a very long video. So what I might just do is a video per location. Just to quickly wrap up about Kenya, I also took on one of the kids in the slum to be my prodigy child, should I say. So I've now sponsored him into boarding school, which cost about £350 for him to go. No, 425 for the first year, and about 350 thereafter for him to go to boarding school for the next 10 years. So I pay that money every year. And I'm also basically helping his mom with rent, so that when he comes back home, she doesn't have that heavy burden of looking after two kids when she's gotten used to having just one. But I'll wrap that up, and the next video will be about Zambia.